All three for your winner by unanimous decision. And the new WBC Super Lightweight Female Champion of the World from Chicago, Illinois, Jessica McCaskill.
I grew up in Belleville, Illinois, and that is about 20 minutes outside of St. Louis, Missouri. This is the first house I remember as like, I don't even know how old I was. It was like kindergarten or something, toddler, tiny. We used to catch the bus right down there for school. And my mom would like sit and watch me and my brother would walk together down the street. My real mom is African American, and my real dad is Mexican. So I'm both half African American and Mexican. Now the lady that adopted me is my great aunt, and that's who I call mom.
Jessica and I, started off very fast. I think I met her, on a weekend, and within 3 weeks later, she fought for me. So I think the whole time that we got to know each other, like for 4 years, I felt like I didn't, know much about her background. And this time around, since we won the world title, I wanted to take a break and, go back and get to know her, get to know where she came from. Gives me a better understanding where she gets her drive, where she gets her that will, and what makes her tick. And I wanted to see everything firsthand.
After that house, we moved to Weatherstone. I don't know why we moved. But this is where the decline happened. Everything just kind of started to drift downward. From there, my parents got divorced, and things just started to look different in the house. There were less lights on, there was less furniture here and there, and then eventually we just, we weren't there anymore. Like stuff started to kind of not be in the house. I guess she was like moving things out, and we were getting McDonald's for breakfast every morning, and we weren't watching TV. We had like a radio powered by battery, and I'm just like getting McDonald's every day. And then we would get on the bus would come like right out here in front and pick us up and drop us off right here, and just kind of we're still trying to just live life, and then like boom, everything changed real quick. From Weatherstone, we moved into the back of a church that we were attending at the time. So we go from a house where there are 4 bedrooms, dining room, living room, den, the whole shebang, and then we end up in a 1-room place for 2 adults and 2 kids. We went from living large to living in the back of this church, like a super tiny room, probably the size of somebody's like master bedroom.
Like all 1 bed type, or like 2 beds, or like how does?
It was like one. I think it was like a pull-out, like sofa bed kind of thing. Yeah. So like, just people would just like share space. Yeah. And so like we used to like clean the church and like help out, like try to, I guess, earn our keep more or less, but do what we could. We just kind of did whatever we had to do to make it through, and we stuck together as a family. There were a lot of realizations and a lot of things that just made me grow up a lot faster. There's a lifestyle that you're living that your friends aren't living, and things that you're doing or that you have to do or you have to maintain that your friends don't even think about. But it was something that definitely made me stronger as a person growing up, and one of those things where I figured if I can get through this, especially as a young child, I can get through anything. It just kind of feels like a really small piece of my past now.
Right, like even coming back here, it shouldn't be negative necessarily, but it could be like a goodbye, like, because moments like living in a tiny bedroom with 4 people, 5 people, like, is why you're wearing the belt.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you were living in a big, beautiful home and
silver spoon all my life?
Yeah, you probably would have never fought. That's probably for sure, almost guaranteed. But
I had like a plastic spork in my mouth.
For sure. So this is the back of the church.
Yeah.
So what went down? Like how does this like play its part in your life?
So like we would park here, and then we would go in the back door, and then like that was like the furnace room, and then right off of that was the little pocket of a room that we used to live in.
There was just space and room to sleep.
There was like I remember we had like a couch that kind of like surrounded the border, and of course that was where the pullout was, and then there was like a little pantry in there. So we didn't have a refrigerator. We might have had a microwave, I don't remember, but for breakfast it was like cereal with evaporated milk. You like pop the can and like mix it with water or something, and it was just like, it was weird. But
do what you gotta do to survive, right?
some of the highlights would be when like another family and my godmother, they would be like, let's go out to dinner, like after church when everybody's here, let's go out Ponderosa or Old Country Buffet, and it'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are like the little things that I hold on to that were really awesome at the time, and so I choose to remember that than I guess some of the bad times,
Yeah.
So this was us getting on our feet, and it probably doesn't look like that for what it looks like, but move out of the back of the church into duplex and shared a room with my brother. Those horror stories.
Yeah.
Fighting over everything.
So there's 2 kids and just your mom?
There was the 2 of my older brothers were here for a while, and then the older one went to the army. Mm-hmm. So then it was me and my big brother that was closer in age with me and my mom. This was a rough neighborhood back in the day. Like, there were like gangbangers in the church parking lot every night, and we would just kind of joke about, don't wear all red or don't wear all blue when you go outside, but it was kind of not a joke. People got shot at. We would all still kind of just be in our element. I remember racing down the street with my friends barefoot, kind of being a kid and playing tag and all type of stuff, because it still felt like a different era than where, people trusted for their kids to be out, on their own. But the corner store, the guy that ran that, somebody tried to rob the store and slit his throat, I was like tiny. I remember that. Like I said, I remember those things, but then I kind of choose not to dwell on it. Like, I remember the fun times. They used to have a carnival on the church parking lot every year, and we used to go play on the equipment at the school, and Huff Park is right over here. We used to be over there all the time, and we lived our lives. We still had the opportunity to be kids in spite of the bad living environment that we were trying to make it through.
Right.
I feel like this was the first place to ever push me to be somebody, like take responsibility for your actions, good or bad. And I think this place was a lot more adult for me as a kid. And I had gone through so many things as a kid that I was like a lot faster than some of the kids that I was, with. Just like the extra steps that the teachers took, like they had a competition amongst the schools for like a free throw contest, and I ended up winning out of like all the girls here, and my 6th grade teacher drove me. Like, we didn't have a car at the time, or somebody was working, so she picked me up from my house, which was right down there, block away, and she took me, and I competed, and she got me McDonald's afterwards, and just, she would just like reassure you that you're doing good things. So
right.
Everybody knows Mrs. McHugh. Mrs. McHugh was like legendary.
Yeah.
She passed a handful of years ago, but everybody knew Mrs. McHugh.
She was definitely a leader.
Yeah, leader. And not only like was she a leader, but she pushed you to be a leader. If she saw it in you, she would like pull it out of you and slap you around if she had to, just like to wake you up. And
do you think she would remember you if she was around today?
Yeah, she knew everybody. She remembered everybody.
What do you think she would say today if she met you and saw you today right now at the WBC? Title about. That's the one.
She'd say, "I'm not surprised. I knew it. You're a leader."
Yeah. No, I understand. Sometimes you need that person in your life as a kid just to say, you know, outside from your parents, just to be like, yo, you got something.
Yeah. She was awesome. So this is Belleville Township High School East. And I was here from sophomore year to senior year. So that was about 2000 to 2002, class of 02. I mean, I had great memories here. I mean, this is a lot of where I just kind of did my own thing, and I had my own style, and I stopped caring what people think and just kind of like lived, you know, more.
Did you play high school sports?
No, I didn't. Everything seemed really cliquey, and I couldn't really fit in, and I didn't care about fitting in. I was like rebellious a little bit, and the outcast and the lone wolf, and I mean, I had friends, but I was like the weird, goofy girl.
I could see that.
But I embraced it, and I was, I guess, like finding myself. You know, we just came from, you know, bad times, and now things are getting better, and I have like this outlet of high school, and I used it, you know, as much as I could. Everything was on the up and up. I had a job. I worked at the Lincoln Theater. I started off as a concession worker here at the Lincoln Theater. And I worked my way up to being the box office ticket girl. And then I jumped to manager. I used to change the sign up there, climb out the window and arrange everything, put the posters up. I was like counting down money every night, like multiple cash drawers, and it was a big job for a high schooler. But after I graduated from Belleville East, I went to SIU Edwardsville and eventually started my career in boxing as an amateur. Pagedale Athletic Club, Pagedale Boxing Club, and they pretty much saw something. And I mean, I had the work ethic to stay, but I was like one of two girls here. The other girl was like maybe 112, where I was like 154, fighting at 154. And we just like worked with the guys, and just that helped us to stay sharp and to get stronger. And I was a brawler, and they let me brawl. So that's...
Was female boxing even a thing here? Or no, not at all?
Barely. I mean, you would see people that weren't even serious about it. So you would fight somebody one time and you would like never see them again.
Yeah.
It was very easy to happen. They gave me a chance to just do what I do. I was very much a brawler at my early stages of boxing and amateurs, and they kind of made that as best as they could, and the outcomes were very good. I had a lot of decent fights in St. Louis and on a national level, and it just kind of prepared me for moving to Chicago and adding to my boxing resume. Yeah, so these are stomping grounds right here. I remember jogging through the park, down the street. People would be on their porch and just kind of be like, all right, Layla Ali, go champ. You know, they knew I was a boxer, and they would just cheer me on.
Does it feel weird to be back, or how does it feel?
No, it's cool. I mean, this was a highlight of my past, and, you know, good memories. And just to kind of know this is where the boxing kind of really popped off for me. It makes me feel proud to come back.
Right.
You know?
Especially with the strap on your
With
shoulder.
the strap, exactly. And that was the last gym that I worked out in before I went to Chicago. I moved to Chicago, Illinois for a job, and when I moved here, I didn't really know anybody here. I had maybe 2 friends that I knew from college, and that was it. It took about 9 months for me to find Body Shop Boxing Club. All of the clubs that I contacted either didn't call me back, they were not in a boxing gym, they were more of an MMA gym, or they were not a place where you could actually spar or hit people. And of course, I was trying to hit people.
So the first time I saw Jessica fight was actually, she was sparring. She came to my gym. She asked for help, get ready for a fight. and I put her in there with one of the girls in my gym that was currently doing well, and she was a Golden Glove champion, and Jessica dropped her with, I believe, a body shot. You know, it got my attention right away. You don't see a lot of knockdowns in amateur female boxing. So, you know, I wanted to explore that. I wanted to figure out what else she can do and what she was willing to do to take her amateur career to another level.
After finding the gym and training and starting with some fights, things just went really fast, and he told me they would be. He just said that my specific career would probably be a lot faster than anybody else's. We had a couple Golden Glove fights. We went to the all-female national Golden Gloves in Florida, and we started to see the difference in the girls that I had been fighting for a couple of years and me. And some of those girls seemed to be on the same level, on the same page as day one, and I was knocking girls out in 30 seconds. So we knew we were ready.
So we fought for the ABO title. We captured that at 135. And then the Katie Taylor fight came about. We fought for the WBA lightweight title in London. That was a phenomenal experience, and I think that fight catapulted Jessica's confidence, not only in herself, but confidence even from the fans that Jessica could be, and it looked like she could be at a world-class level.
Jessica McCaskill!
Here comes Jessica McCaskill, really trying to crank up the heat on Katie Taylor. Great character, really good talker, but a left hand also shows she carries power as well. And Katie Taylor just wobbled for the first real time as a pro. And she is being really roughed up here by Jessica McCaskill. Can Katie Taylor keep her cool? Nice right hands from McCaskill, who's growing in confidence.
Yeah, last round, short shots, hands up, walking behind the gym. That's all you gotta do. If you see something, fucking throw it. Throw it, sit on it.
Excuse the language in the corner.
Alright?
Rick Ramos very close to Jessica McCaskill.
Hit her with a fucking missile so we can go home, okay? And since we came all the way over here, she don't want to fight. She's fucking.
They really want it. Again, apologies for the blue language. No let up in Jessica McCaskill's heart and spirit.
It was a very, very tough fight, probably the toughest fight of my career. So I expected, I knew that coming into this fight that Jessica was a tough opponent. And
so after the Katie Taylor fight, we came home. We immediately wanted to get back to work. A couple fights fell through, probably about 3 or 4. It just seemed like the whole year of 2018 wasn't, for whatever reason, wasn't our time. Fights were falling through, things weren't happening for us, and I would tell Jessica, even though I didn't necessarily even believe it, but I just wanted her to be patient. I hate being patient. I'm not a very patient person, but I thought that the best thing to do in this situation was to be patient. And we got the call from Eddie Hearn. We got the call from Eddie Hearn to fight in Chicago, and we were happy, we were excited. It was a good show for Chicago, good show for us. And with like 2 weeks left, he called and asked if I would be interested in having Jessica fight for the WBC world title at 140 pounds, super lightweight. And we jumped on the opportunity.
It's a pretty competitive, close fight. So it's for a title, so who's going to want it more?
Oh, there's a right hand. The best punch of the fight landed there from McCaskill.
On his head. Clean shot right there. Yeah,
Right
this was a clean round for McCaskill. It was a nice looking round. She was able to move and use the ring, land some clean shots. Didn't leave a doubt of it.
There's that uppercut and the temple shot. McCaskill starting to take over this fight.
3 uppercuts in a row.
And the new WBC Super Lightweight Female Champion of the World from Chicago, Illinois, Jessica McCaskill.
Todd, I gotta say, hearing and new just brings memories for me. I can tell you what that feeling's like. She will never forget those 2 words.
I think in life, you always need someone who believes in you and you believe in them. And I think that if you find that person, it's a great ride, and you can build some great memories, and live both of your dreams, and those dreams and goals become reality. I'm very, very proud of Jessica. She's done everything I said, and I wasn't 100% sure I was right, but I just had a gut feeling that if we did things a certain way, that we would be where we were at. And I'm very, very proud of her, and I'm very, very excited to see what the future holds.
Looking back at where I've come from, where I started, where my boxing started, the things that I've been through, the things that I've been able to overcome, it's pretty remarkable for anybody to go through those things. I know there's people out there that have similar stories to mine, and I think those people are remarkable as well. I'm just very thankful that God has brought me through those things and to where I am today, and we're not done yet.